Governor Maura Healey and Lieutenant Governor Kim Driscoll spent their day here in Western Mass today. From Franklin County to Hampden County, the governor and her cabinet promoted the administration's proposed budget. Western Mass News reporter Maria Wilson joins us live in studio with those details. Maria.
Chris, throughout the day, Governor Healey spoke about key issues including affordable housing and transportation, and also her commitment to projects like the East-West Rail.
If you can believe it, just a little while ago, your lieutenant governor was doing shots of maple syrup, and I was holding a chicken, and that's what it means to be in Western Massachusetts, right?
Governor Maura Healey, alongside her entire cabinet, spent the day in Western Mass on Friday. The administration spent the morning at local farms in Greenfield and Deerfield, where the governor highlighted her support for rural communities, particularly through the creation of the state's first ever Rural Affairs Director.
We know the state has a lot of ways that we can help our rural economies. We can do that through supportive grants. We can do it through working directly with communities.
During her visit, the governor promoted her historic $55.5 billion proposed budget, which includes a $750 million tax relief package.
It's putting money back in the pockets of people who really need it most. Doubling the tax credit for seniors, low-income seniors, that's really important. It's really about affordability, and I think that it's very progressive when you think about who that tax relief is aimed at.
The governor also visited Springfield, where she was a keynote speaker for the annual Springfield Regional Chamber's Outlook event. Throughout the day, she emphasized her administration's commitment to the people of the Bay State.
We understand the importance of supporting our larger cities, our smaller towns, and everything in between, and that's what we tried to do through our budget. It's why we were spending time today here in Western Massachusetts, and it will continue to be our commitment.
Governor Healey also stopped by our Western Mass newsroom. Tune in to see her full interview this Sunday morning at 11:30 on Getting Answers.